Hello everyone, my name is Xiaoli. I'm 24 years old and come from a small county town in China. I'd like to share my story with you. It's quite a journey, but it ended up having a happy ending. Back when I was born, our area still had a strong preference for sons over daughters. Many families would keep having children until they got a son. Take our neighbors, for instance. They had 4 daughters before finally getting a son, who was utterly spoiled. It was under these circumstances that I was given away. My birth parents ran a business, and perhaps because they had too many girls, they gave me to a couple who had been married for years without children. I was less than 2 months old at the time, completely unaware of anything. My adoptive parents cherished me like their own daughter. When I was 4, disaster struck. My adoptive mother discovered my adoptive father had been unfaithful, and they divorced. My adoptive mother insisted on taking me with her, saying she couldn't trust my adoptive father to raise me. I heard he didn't try to stop us either. After the divorce, my adoptive mother raised me alone. Still young, she wanted to find a new partner, but couldn't bear leaving me with my grandparents. She declared that whoever married her would have to take me too, or she wouldn't marry at all. And that's how she met my current father. They were deeply in love, and Dad doted on me. Later, Mom gave birth to a little brother, adorable as can be, loved by everyone. When I was in elementary school, I always thought my first foster dad was my biological father, knowing only that my current dad wasn't my biological parent. I could sense that Grandpa and Grandma favored my younger brother more, but I understood. After all, I wasn't their biological granddaughter. Whenever something like this happened, I'd resent my first foster dad. I felt that if he hadn't betrayed Mom, I wouldn't have ended up in this new home. Still, I comforted myself. As long as Mom and Dad loved me, it didn't matter what others thought. When I was in college, my mom suddenly told me one day that I was actually adopted, not her biological child. I completely broke down, crying uncontrollably, unable to comprehend why my birth parents would abandon me. Mom cried too, and we held each other, sobbing for a long time. Later, I gradually came to terms with it. I realized that even though my birth parents gave me away, they must have hoped for a better life for me. And I ended up with such a wonderful adoptive mother. She not only loved me like her own flesh and blood, but also sacrificed so much for me. My current dad is also great. He's never treated me unfairly. After graduating from college, I found a job in the city. One day on my way home from work, I was knocked down by an electric bike. The young man riding the bike took me to the hospital and stayed by my side the whole time. We got to know each other, gradually became close, and eventually started dating. His name is Xiao Zhang, a sincere and dependable person. We dated for 2 years, and our bond grew stronger. Last year, we got married. Before the wedding, I told him about my background. He said it didn't matter. He loved me for who I was, not where I came from. Now, Xiao Zhang and I live a very happy life together. Sometimes I wonder if heaven, seeing how I was abandoned by my birth parents, specially arranged such a wonderful husband to compensate me. Looking back on my journey these years, though it started rough, the people I met later were all kind. My adoptive mother sacrificed so much for me. She's truly remarkable. My stepfather accepted me and gave me a complete family. My husband healed my emotional wounds with his love. Now I can face my origins with peace. I've come to understand that blood ties don't matter. What truly counts are those who genuinely care for you. My adoptive parents and stepfather gave me more love than many biological parents ever could. These experiences have reshaped my understanding of home. A home isn't just a place where blood relatives live together. It's built on love. A happy home requires everyone's effort. I too will strive to be a good wife and mother, creating a loving home for my children. My story shows us that life inevitably brings hardships, but as long as we hold on to hope and stay optimistic, we will encounter kind people who lend a helping hand. At the same time, we must learn to be grateful and cherish those around us, for it is their love and support that carries us through difficult times. Finally, to those who faced similar experiences, I say, don't feel inferior or resentful because of your background. What matters isn't where we come from, but where we're headed. With hard work, we can all build a better life. Why did ancient Chinese people favor sons over daughters? In ancient China, the preference for sons over daughters stemmed from multiple factors. First, ancient society was agrarian, where men worked the fields as the primary labor force, while women primarily handled household duties without generating direct income for the family. Consequently, boys were valued more highly. Second, the patriarchal clan system dictated that family surnames, property, and status were inherited by males. Only sons could carry on the family line. The saying, "no heir is the greatest misfortune," reflected this belief. Additionally, Confucian ideology emphasized men managing external affairs, women managing internal affairs, and promoted the notion that a woman's virtue lies in her lack of talent, further diminishing women's status. Compounding this, the absence of social welfare systems meant elderly parents relied solely on sons for support, while daughters, upon marriage, shifted their care to their husbands' families, leaving them unable to provide for their birth parents. Thus, within this societal context, the preference for sons was a natural outcome. However, with societal progress, men and women now enjoy equality in education, employment, and legal rights. Increasingly, people recognize that boys and girls are equally important. Every life deserves to be cherished and respected. Before 2015, the preference for sons over daughters remained deeply ingrained in Chinese society. Many families believed that only a son could carry on the family line and provide for them in old age, while daughters would eventually marry into another family and become someone else's responsibility. However, starting in 2016, this mindset began to shift gradually. Socioeconomic development and rising educational levels fostered more open-minded perspectives. An increasing number of families now believe that boys and girls are equally valuable, emphasizing instead that children should be healthy, well-behaved, and capable of achieving success. Additionally, practical economic pressures have prompted many parents to reconsider. Today, marrying off a son requires purchasing a home and a car, along with preparing a substantial dowry, all significant expenses. In contrast, raising daughters is relatively less burdensome. Daughters are often seen as gentle and considerate, capable of providing companionship to their parents. Today, many Chinese families even prefer having daughters. People no longer prioritize gender over family happiness and children's well-being. This shift demonstrates that China's gender perspectives are evolving from preferring sons over daughters toward equality for all.